Hi everybody, this is Grits. This is a video response to Together for Peace's video, Atheists' Lack of Belief. Now, I like Don Exodus videos, and I liked the recent video about his conversion. I can certainly identify with a lot of things he said in that video. But much as it pains me, I'm going to have to take issue with one of his claims in the video, specifically the claim that atheism is the default position in this debate. I think this is a common misconception, I think, with some of the atheists on YouTube. I think they have this idea that atheism is somehow this metaphysical certainty. I don't think that's the case. I would say that I believe there's no God. And I think there's sufficient evidence to say that that's a rational belief. But to say I'm absolutely certain, it would just be dishonest. Now, it could be that Don Exodus was meaning to say that for him personally, the default position is atheism. It didn't sound like he was saying that. It sounded like he was saying that atheism is the default. Unless you prove otherwise, then that's the truth. Now, I think when you start to make these kind of absolute statements, I think you inevitably run into contradictions when you start to really dig into it. And I noticed a couple of contradictions in Don Exodus' video. First of all, he at one point said that there was no default position, and then went on to say the default was atheism, and that didn't make sense. He also cited the null hypothesis as a reason for this, and that didn't make sense, because the whole premise behind a null hypothesis is that you have to at least acknowledge the possibility that you're wrong, and that's in essence an agnostic position. Now, if someone's going to make a specific claim about God or God's nature, and it's in contradiction with something that is known to be true or a known fact, then you could rationally say, well, this is wrong. It's not necessarily saying that there is no God, it's just saying that your idea of God is incorrect. Just as an example, and I know that a lot of people watching this video don't believe this, but I'm just going to put this out there anyway. The claim that the Earth is about 6,000 years old. Now, you can find plenty of evidence suggesting the Earth is a lot older than that, and so you can basically throw out the idea of the 6,000-year-old Earth as a virtual impossibility. Now, all the way on the other side of the spectrum, you've got deism, and deism in a way is like the most perfectly crafted God of the gaps argument in history. I mean, we may never be able to refute this, okay? Now, I personally believe that deism is ultimately incorrect. I think that if we were ever to get enough evidence to show a natural process for the beginning of the universe, a natural process being responsible for everything, that would eliminate the deist possibility. But that may never happen. So in the same way as I say that I believe my argument is rational, that deism is incorrect because there's really nothing to suggest that this God is actually there. At the same time, you could argue that deism is rationally correct because it doesn't really contradict any known facts. And so at this point, you've got two arguments that can be considered rational positions, rational beliefs, and they're pretty much in contradiction. You've got two statements, one there is a God, one there is not, and there's no way to say for sure which argument's correct. Now, I would argue that I think it's incorrect because just judging from the success of methodological naturalism in dispelling supernatural explanations through history, that it will probably happen again with deism, or it could happen again if we ever get that kind of evidence. But that's far from a certainty. I can't say absolutely 100% deism is incorrect. I can just say this is why I believe it's incorrect, and it's based on evidence of the success of methodological naturalism as opposed to just a statement of there is a God. I believe that these claims of absolute truth or somehow being privy to this absolute truth are dangerous. I think they hinder the advancement of knowledge with a bias, and it certainly goes for religion. There are some claims of religious people that are clearly in contradiction with known facts, and I think it's just so unhelpful, and it just doesn't lead anywhere. as I said before, the idea of naturalistic science and how it has consistently dispelled supernatural explanations is a pretty good clue that at least it's a possibility that there is no God. It should at least be considered. I really just want to promote atheism as a rational belief more than an absolute truth. Anyway, I guess that's enough for now. I hope I clarified my position a little bit, and I will talk to you later.